the other piece that comes to mind is that people respond to that from an emotional space. Like nothing chaps my ass more than somebody blaming their response on, I'm just an emotional person. I'm just an emotional person.
Bro, oh
if
my
you don't
gosh.
get the f out my face with allowing.
Yo, welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lex. The podcast with men that have a safe space. We on all platforms. You need to tune in, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Welcome to Melody, the podcast with men that have a safe space. Welcome to Melody. Welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lex.
Hey, this ain't nobody, is it?
It depends, you know. It depends.
But everybody know you.
Depends on if you had the thumb or not. I do that joint all the time.
I mean, because I see cats doing this. Smack do it.
I mean, you could be from Texas, you know.
I do that.
I could be from Texas.
You know, it's a lot of
Texas cats do like this.
Yeah,
is that a thing?
There's a Longhorn symbol if you're from Texas.
Right.
So,
from Martinsville, we do this, but I know that's something.
I mean, I do this all the time, but only because I'm the third. So this is like
that's what that's for?
Yeah.
Know
okay.
that.
The third.
I thought you was because you was from North Virginia.
Nah.
Hey.
What's going on?
Already.
Hey. What's going on, man? You know what's going on. We back in the cave for another edition of the Melly D's podcast. I'm going to get it right this time. You know, it's your boy Melly Mel, a.k.a. Himothy, a.k.a. Mr. Get It Done, a.k.a. Mr. Make It Happen, a.k.a. It Is What It Is and Do What It Do. Hey.
A.k.a. Too Many A.K.A.s. It's your boy T. Roy, a.k.a. your boy Troy, a.k.a. Big Head, a.k.a. Holla When You See Me, your local Hope Dealer. Holla at me.
Okay. And we got another a.k.a. It's your boy Dr. Life Coach Lace, a.k.a. NBA Young Boy / Old Boy, a.k.a. Let's Get It, a.k.a. I'm Him, a.k.a. I Got the Answers. So speaking of the answers, we in the studio.
Oh, come on, man.
And my boys over here struggling trying to get the audio right.
I knew he was gonna bring us up.
And Dr. Life Coach Lace said, hey guys, maybe we should consider doing this. And boom. Here we are. I'm a genius.
And we live it now.
I'm a genius.
Hey, first of all,
I'm a genius.
this is what happens when you try to take shortcuts. And as me and Lay should know already, because it should be ingrained into us that alpha men shall never take shortcuts.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we didn't follow our teacher. We tried to take a little shortcut.
No, you didn't follow the teacher because I asked earlier in the week, what y'all need from me? Oh, you just show up late.
Lay just show
you
up.
The talent. You the talent.
And you did. And you showed up. You showed out.
Look, the reason why we say that is because Lace has no IQ on video, audio, podcasting, setup, nothing. So anytime we got a question, we could barely get this man to log in before.
That is true. That is true.
So when you're in a situation like that, he's probably the last person that you want to ask for technical advice.
That is true.
This time, however, he was able to get it right. And, you know,
I just bring the idea. I can bring the idea.
We live.
The execution, that's a different story.
We live. Hoodie gang.
Welcome back.
We back again.
Also, shout out to the label that pays us, Dystopia Studios. We're in the studio again with Dystopia. Shout out our boy Patrick. This is a great opportunity. We hope you guys are chiming in.
Absolutely.
Let's go. And if you haven't done it already, like I said last time, pick up your phone. Go to the Google Play Store, Apple App Store, whatever phone you got. Download the Dystopia app. Again, it's free to create an account. Listen to all your other favorite podcasts and media on that joint as well, especially if you want to get tapped in on these exclusive episodes that we about to start dropping. If you wanted a 55, like I said last time, you for damn sure better have the Dystopia app by now.
Better have it.
If you don't, hurry up, get to it before you start missing out. It's going up.
Get to it.
So yeah, go ahead.
I forgot another alias on my intro too. So I'm gonna go ahead and add AKA Hoochie Daddy Trainer. Hoochie Daddy Trainer. You see the Hoochie Daddies we on. Hoochie Daddy Trainer.
Hey, bro, I didn't even know you had on Hoochie Daddies on to be for real. I was not even paying attention. was not even paying attention.
He like mid-level hoochie daddy. He
No.
he not like full-fledged 4-inch seam hoochie daddy.
No, I ain't going that far.
Exactly, that's what
I
I
ain't
mean.
going that far.
I want my hoochie daddies to come right across the cut. That's what. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. Cause it's hot down here. It's North Carolina. It is hot. It's hot.
I mean, it do get hot.
I just came back from Boston. Boston was 40.
Oh, absolutely.
40 degrees. I come back down here, you know, when you transitioning from airport to airport. So I dressed warm in Boston, get down here in the airport. I'm
Taking
sweating.
stuff off.
Yes. So it get hot down here. So I want my hoochie daddies
You know why
to
you
come
tricked
up.
up? There's a lesson in that. There's a word in that.
Okay.
And you were dressed for where you were, not for where you were going. And you need to start making sure that you dress. You know what I'm saying? I know it's early. I'm giving y'all nuggets. I'm giving y'all nuggets early.
Dress for where you were, not
Dress
where
for where
you
you
go.
going, not for where you are right now. That's a life lesson. A lot of us are preparing for where we are right now, not where
My.
we're trying to go. So I think that you
My.
should, take that as a learning opportunity, man.
That's good.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
good.
We normally don't have nuggets this early
Come on, bro. I'm just
in
saying.
the podcast, and so I'm gonna take that as disrespect because it was aimed towards me. The nuggets is meant for the people watching, not me.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey, that was good.
Hey.
That was good. That
Call
was
me
good.
Ronald because I'm dropping nuggets.
I was like, who?
Call
Who's
me
Ronald?
Ronald
Right.
because I'm
See?
dropping nuggets. Look, you
See?
slow
I was
again.
like,
I'm trying to help you out.
Look, I'm over here. I'm like, who on the Denver Nuggets was
Hey, for the
Ronald?
slow audience, Ronald, a.k.a. McDonald's, dropping
Right.
nuggets. Come on,
Yeah.
bro. Tie it up. Wrap it up in a bow.
Man,
I was like, oh my goodness.
that's good stuff
Hey, I'm
right there.
passing them out. I'm
That's
passing
good
them out.
stuff.
So we back in the studio again, guys. What we
Back,
talk about?
Back.
You got the topic, T.
I mean, we got a little deep last time. I think this is probably going to be just as deep as well, depending on the
It is.
depending on the direction that we go in. So I'll let you kick it off, man. It's again feeling good being in the studio. Being in y'all presence, not being attached to the computer screen or whatever. Now that we got it figured out, what's funny is that every time we've taken a step forward in some type of way, that first episode after that step, we've always tricked it up.
But that's
We've
life,
always
though.
tricked it up. Either the video is off, the audio is terrible, something happened, somebody forgot to record. It's always something, that goes on. But we figure it out. We figured it out.
We
got
figured it
right
out.
this time. We're gonna make it shake. So
We're gonna make it shake. So last night, chopping it up with my wife, she's a counselor. She's a family counselor. And she was sharing with me, some of the things about being family counseling. Like, you desire to help people, but when life is going, it's so funny. Counselors are there to help people, but they're people themselves.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? And so they are impacted by life around them and situations that they're going through. Sidebar. Y'all, there was a meme going around once of a dude saying, why would I need to go to a therapist when my therapist needs a therapist themselves? And then somebody replied, it was like, okay, well, I guess a doctor wouldn't need to go to a doctor because they need a doctor themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's dumb.
Very dumb.
Very, very dumb. Very close-minded. So therapy is real and necessary because the mind is a muscle, bro. Yes, it is an organ, but it's a muscle that you gotta work out. And sometimes it gets exhausted, fatigue, if you would say. Mm-hmm. And one of the things she was sharing with me that counselors deal with, and I think we as people deal with too, is a term called moral distress. Moral distress, as you can see down here on the bottom of the page, moral distress. Mm-hmm. And so when I was reading about it, I was like, yo, a lot of our listeners and ourselves also deal with this because we are in a caring role, if not at work, but at home, family, something like that. So the question is, what exactly is moral distress? Moral distress occurs when someone knows the right thing to do, but constraints, conflicts, dilemmas, or uncertainty make it nearly impossible to pursue the right course of action. Mm-hmm. And with moral distress, it differs. It differs from burnout. It's kind of similar to burnout, but Burnout refers to physical, mental, emotional exhaustion caused by workplace stress, and it differs from compassion fatigue, which is physical, mental, emotional weariness related to caring for those in significant pain or emotional distress. I'm be honest with you. I think it all is the same. To be quite honest with you.
Hey, I'm gonna give Troy a quick round of applause before we dive into that, because if I had to read everything that he just read,
I mean, he sounded like a solid sixth grader reading that shit. You know what I'm saying?
And listen,
I would have studied my way through that whole.
Listen, a part of me getting that terrific kick that I was telling y'all about was a reading thing that I had to meet too.
Hey, I would have been clowning in the back if I was in that class.
Y'all had that kid in y'all's class that had to read with their finger?
Oh yeah. Again, if you want to embarrass somebody, especially bullies back in the day,
Make them read out loud.
read out loud.
Make them read out loud.
Make them read out loud.
Finger on the page.
And make them and read a book now.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of people who peaked in high school that still can't read.
Yeah. Imagine the moral distress of that if you peaked in high school. Oh my God!
Come closer to the microphone because they need to say that one more
imagine the moral distress if you peaked in high school. Like, yo. But the thing is, at the time, we thought high school was it.
We thought it was it.
Like, that's
forever.
crazy. So much more life to live.
Right.
So much more life to live.
All our
Crazy.
friends was gonna be our friends.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen them niggas since. I ain't seen them since.
Bro.
I see them on the book every once in a while.
See, I don't do that. So again, you know what I mean?
I was on the book this morning, and that's ultimately one of the first things I do in the morning time. I jump on the book, and I saw my middle school crush look like a bag of potatoes.
That's tough.
Who remembers that?
Exactly.
Who remembers who their crush was in middle school?
Bruh, the guy who remembers Terrific Kid Award.
That's
Okay,
right. I forgot who I was talking
Yeah,
to.
fact.
but
fact.
I saw my crush from.
So
high
you
school.
felt like it was a win? You was
It was
like,
a win.
you
It was a
dodged-
big
you
win.
dodged
Bro.
the
It was a
bullet?
big win. I was like, hey babe, just want to let you know you look better than my crush did.
Yo, Troy is a idiot, bro. He is an idiot.
And she was like, so that's the first thing that's on your mind
Oh,
this
my
morning?
God.
At 8:00 in the morning.
Other women, that's the
Foolishness.
first thing. No,
Foolishness.
you were. I made the comparison to you. But anyway, moral distress is real.
Is it though? Run the definition back one more time. Run it just the moral distress, please.
It
Run back
occurs
real
when
quick.
someone knows the right thing to do, but constraints, conflicts, dilemmas, or uncertainty make it nearly impossible to pursue the right course of action.
Got you.
So you come into a stoplight, the old lady is right there. You know you should let them get by, but because you got to get somewhere in time, or because work has been stressful, you trying to get to the bar, to get your happy hour drink or something like that, or because of things that's going on, so you like, you know what, forget this old lady, and you going right by. You know what I'm saying? That's an extreme, because y'all know I talk in extremes. That's an extreme way to look at it, but yeah, and that's.
I would agree with that. I think people, in every aspect, people do struggle with that, but I don't know if they can categorize it as that, if that makes sense. Sure. So, saying the moral distress, yeah, I can see that in various levels of life, but I think the big piece would likely be people struggling to keep it a buck with others. You know what I'm saying? True. So that's probably where it would come into account the most, in fear of rejection and fear of a multitude of things. So I would say that's probably where it would raise its head in the majority of people's personal lives. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, when she was first telling me about it last night, the person I thought about you, because Melvin has said on multiple occasions, I'm just trying not to grow weary and well doing.
Right.
For real.
And I think it's a part of the process of, the right thing to do and you can do it, but it's just like, I'm not seeing any yield. From doing this good.
But sometimes the yield is just doing it, doing what is right. You know what I mean? You may not get an immediate yield to that, but knowing that you did it right and knowing that what we believe by doing those things, the payout is going to happen at some point, just not necessarily in our timing. So the yield will happen. Sometimes the test is the yield.
But what if I want it right now?
We all want it right now.
now.
We all want it right now.
I want my payout right now.
Right.
And You know, I think this is instilled in us when we're kids, like when we do good things. Like I remember my godson, they would change his diaper, and they would hand him the diaper, and he would go walk it to the trash can and throw it away. So then we're like, "Yay, good job!" And so we built up in our minds that when we do something good, we're supposed to get some type of congratulations
But that's the
or
problem.
something like that.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there with Western European culture. niggas want for nothing.
Well, I don't think that's the.
It is the case. It is the case
all the way.
To this day, bruh, like growing up, me and my brother had to get A's and B's. If we got a C on anything, you ain't doing no extracurriculars, you ain't doing this, that, and the third. That instilled in us, you do what you're supposed to do because it's the right thing to do. You don't get no payouts for doing what the you're supposed to do. And that's the problem with people. People literally want kudos for doing what is in their job description.
Right.
That makes no sense.
Now, I do want to get an extra little bump in my pay, though.
I understand that, but again, to get a bump in your pay, you have to showcase over time that you've done something that has excelled, or you've done something that is innovative, visionary, something like that. Not just doing the day-to-day. Just last week, I was telling my team, I don't even know how people get to work in the morning. How did you even tie your shoes to get here? Because you're not doing while you here. You want a pat on the back for being to work on time? No, it's not how that works.
I wouldn't. Okay, for some people, yes, I agree with you. Some people want the pat on the back. They want the terrific kid.
Right.
So there are some people like that. But I think for a lot of other people, our minds are conditioned that there is a beginning and an end. So the growing weary and well doing is like you're consistently doing something, looking for the end. What is the end? What is the result? And you may not see the end no time soon, or you may not see even a peak that looks like this is going to come to an end soon, or I'm going to yield some type of result. So then it's more difficult to be like, you know, why do I keep pushing forward? Why do I keep going out here? If I went to the gym for 6 months and I ain't see my muscles grow at all,
I'm not going back.
It'd be hard for me to go back to the
But
gym.
But that's in between the ears, though. That's in between the ears, because if you're doing it for the result, then you could be doing it for the wrong reason. Because sometimes the result is, as we mentioned previously, the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes that's
process,
what it is,
man.
Like legit. I mean, I know we all want some form of result, but you go to the gym long enough, you do anything long enough, you go see some result, whether good or bad.
That's what we trying to get to. It's the in between, seeing the result. The good or the bad. Sometimes you ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen either or. So then you don't feel the energy to keep doing what it is that you're doing. I ain't seen nothing. Sometimes a no would be better than nothing. Because at least I have some direction. Maybe I'm not going in the right direction. Maybe I need to do something different. So I think that's the hard part. A lot of times, I'm going to speak for me, especially in the growing weary with well doing. I get weary and well doing when I keep putting out and I don't see a result. I don't see an answer or anything. I don't see nothing. Like, am I going in the right direction? Is this valuable? Is it worth it? Should I be doing this type of thing? And that's when I say I grow weary and well doing. Or if I'm doing the work and I keep getting hit with negative obstacles in the midst of me trying to do what I believe to be the right thing or do good, and I'm getting negativity back. And then my brain starts going, well, hell, I was getting positive stuff when I was doing negative things. So I might as well go back to being
or just a
respond negative male, or you know what I'm saying,
or respond at all doing something negative. Like at least you got to acknowledge, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Even
don't
if it
let
was
your mind play tricks on you, because the mind it can do that. I was just telling somebody last week, you can create whatever scenario, whatever perspective that you choose to, but right is right, wrong is wrong, and if you go stay the course, you gotta see it through in some capacity. But I think, as Troy mentioned, the big thing is a lot of times people want that instant validation that I'm doing what I'm doing. This is the benefit that I receive from it, etc. You know what I mean? Think about Tyler Perry. He was homeless in his car before a play blew up.
Who's famous that wasn't homeless?
But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, what if he, just using an example, was just like, all right, I ain't seen no result from this. I'm sleeping in my Mazda. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna stop. Now he wouldn't have made any of the movies, all the and the influence that he has now. You know what I'm saying? Think about Magic. Just bought the Commanders.
Yo, shout out to Magic Johnson.
6.5 billion. You know what I'm saying? What about his situation in the 90s? That was a death sentence, as they stated.
It was, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what if he would have just gave up then? Totally different path. So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think it is, a lot of times we know we just want that validation.
Let me tell you the biggest struggle. The biggest struggle is when you are doing good for someone else and expecting either a changed behavior
Come on, T.I.
or you're expecting, I don't know, like some type of instant gratification. You know what I'm saying? We all love instant gratification. I think we do. But I remember one time, helping out family members. You know what I'm saying? Like, you show up for this, you help them for this on that, you help them for this on that. Still the same. Significant other. You think if you do X, Y, Z, blah, 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 you were supposed to, you're going to see appreciation is one of the things that you do at the minimum appreciation, but you don't even get that. And I think that makes it seem like, well, shoot, if you don't appreciate it, I ain't going to do it for you no more then.
If you feed into somebody or a thing, the goal, as you mentioned, is to feed into them. But you have a preconceived outcome that you want that is not completely honest because you want to do it.
The preconceived it do trick you up,
right?
The
because you want to do it so you can reap the benefit.
Disagree.
And
no, it's the truth.
I disagree.
And
It's the truth.
I will tell you why I disagree. I will tell you why I disagree.
and
Vagina.
and with that, I think sometimes we think, oh, but if this was done for me, this is how I will respond.
And that's the problem. That's the
Yeah.
problem. Like I'm
And
kicking
so
it. I'm
we
kicking it with
expect
one of
other
my
people to do that.
one of my homies now. You know what I mean? We haven't before we got on having a conversation about the same thing. Well, if this was this, then that would be. Are you doing it for the wrong reasons? If you doing that for the outcome that you want or the way that you communicate, you up from rip because that person may not communicate and operate in that way. They may not. They don't think that way.
I'm disagreeing, not because I disagree that some people have the preconceived, I want to get some type of acknowledgement or whatever from this. I think that, and I'm speaking from the man point of view because, as we all know, manhood is a thankless job. Sometimes when you're doing something for somebody else, you already know that they can't pour back into you what you pouring back into them. Sure. They may not be able to offer to you what you offering to them. So, to me, the exchange is at least thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
At least just say thank you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is a little bit of what he's trying to get to. Because while I'm doing it for the right reason, I'm pouring into you. I know that you can't give me nothing back. Right. I know that this is more beneficial for you than it is for me. I'll look at it from like fatherhood to child. Mm-hmm. Ain't no way my kid's gonna be able to reciprocate. Right. Vast majority of the stuff that I give them. Right. So to me, as a dad, the exchange to me is at least just say thank you. Sure. I know you can't give me, this not going to be equal. It's not going to be
mutually beneficial.
It's not mutually beneficial. Yeah. So at least thank you. Mm-hmm. At the least, you know what I'm saying? And for a lot of us, thank you is all that. If we just heard those two words, we'd be all right. Like, we'd be good.
Yeah.
But why let it affect you if you don't hear that, though? If you know what you did was the right thing to do, because I go back to like we see on Instagram and other platforms, somebody hold the door for somebody, they walk through, don't say thank you, they get pissed off.
That's me.
I get mad.
That's me.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
I do that.
Why get upset at that?
I get upset. Okay. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
You did what you.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Right. You did what you felt was right.
I'm about to be all the way 100.
I might be more
and I'm gonna
petty
tell
than
all
you.
the way the truth.
Yeah.
I get mad depending on who it is that walked through the door. If I hold it and they don't say nothing.
Okay.
If I hold the door open for a white person and they walk through and don't say thank you or acknowledge that I held the door open, my brain automatically jumps to, they think I'm supposed to just be holding the door open for them.
But why did you do it in the first place then?
They think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, you think I'm supposed to be holding this door open?
You damn right.
For
Hold that door, boy.
So they ain't say thank you. So I get petty. But I do to anybody. I don't care who it is. If they do walk through the door and don't say thank you, nothing like that, I always get petty and be like, you welcome. I just say you welcome.
Crazy.
And then they turn around and be like, oh, thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
But I am going to give you that. You welcome.
Oh, my God.
It's like, yeah.
You know
it's
what,
like that.
You know what makes me mad is when I come to a crosswalk and I let you walk by and you don't at least wave or give me the head nod or a thank you or something like that. I was like, I could have hit you.
They got the right
I
away.
could have hit you.
They got the right away. way.
But they don't even
They don't.
look at me to acknowledge that
They
I
don't.
exist. I just want my existence to be acknowledged.
They
That's
don't.
crazy. That
I
is
don't get
crazy.
mad at that. I get mad if I let you go or I let you cross the
And
road
you don't-
and you take your sweet ass time going across. You don't try to put no giddy up in your step to get across. You walking
Yo,
like you
y'all
ain't got
have
nowhere
issues,
to be.
Yo, y'all have issues.
I put a little skip in my step.
Y'all have
When it
issues.
Come on, bro.
Y'all
I
have
at least
issues.
fake like I'm trying to hurry up.
happens. You do a little shoulder
Look, somebody let me go. I be like, I at least fake like I'm trying to move
Yo,
fast to
that's
make them
wild.
feel better about it. But niggas
That's
just be
wild.
slow poking that drum. Like, yo, hurry up, go on. I'm
Right,
trying
right,
to
right.
do good, but you getting in the way.
Right.
But I feel that moral distress, quite a bit in life, just anyway, just navigating relationship. You talking about being a husband, being a father. A lot of times, you got to make decisions for them or for the family that you know is the right thing to do, but you know it's going to cause conflict. Or they might not receive it well, they're not going to appreciate it, or there's going to be some attitude, or they're going to be whatever. And that's a difficult space to be in consistently. And if you're not someone, I'm going to say like me, who may be strong-minded or, I'll just say strong-minded. It's hard to change my mind. Y'all know, y'all hear it. People who listen know. Once my mind is set on something, it's not difficult for me to stay there. Right. For a lot of other people, there's more opportunity for their mind to be changed or for them to be swayed in what's going on. So that's when we get, to me, terms like happy wife, happy life, those type of things where you avoid doing what you know is good to make up for not having to receive no backlash or conflict. Right. You know what I'm saying, from your spouse. So it's a sense of moral distress where you're like, I got to make these decisions. We may not be able to spend as much money this month as you want to spend because we got something else to do. But she may be frustrated by the fact that we can't spend the money. Or your kids may want something that you know they can't have right now because it's not good for them, but they got an attitude. But it's still good for them. But for a lot of men, that would bother them to the point where they can't sleep at night or they can't function properly. So then they start adjusting, moving in the direction of not doing what's right because I'm trying to, make up for this conflict. And if I'm being real with you, as a man, sometimes you just got to make that decision and be okay with that decision. And whether they get mad or not, you just got to be secure enough to know, like, I'm doing what I know I'm supposed to be doing for y'all. And you go to sleep. She going to be mad sometimes.
Yeah.
Your girl going to be mad sometimes. Yeah. And you got to be okay with her being mad sometimes because you know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you know that you're doing it for your family, if you know that you're doing the right thing, you should be okay with that attitude for a little while. And that don't bother me. I'm like, you can get mad if you want, but you know what I'm saying? I know it's going to work out. So I think there's a constant state of moral distress depending on what type of situation you in when you know, like, I got to make this happen or I got to do something, but it ain't going the way that you wanted to go.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I support that.
Yeah. And oftentimes when you get to that point where it's like, all right, I got to make the best decision for us. All right, cool. But sometimes you want to just be petty. And you want to transfer that emotional distress that you have. It's like, oh, if I'm going to feel this, I want you to feel it too. And so you try to find ways to get your get back.
I'm learning so much more about
you ain't never tried to get your get back?
I'm definitely gonna get
definitely
back.
petty.
I'm petty.
You know what I'm saying? I think everybody's. It's just the way that you explain.
It's the way that you explained it.
Yeah.
Why is it the way I explain? It's how you feel.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like I said, it's just the way that you explain.
I'm petty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Y'all didn't expect me to say it because I'm supposed to be the wholesome
Right,
one.
and that's
I don't.
It took me.
You don't
for a
think
loop.
you
It
don't
took me
think
for a
I
loop.
wrestle? But I'll be wanting to get my get back. Now, do I get my get back? No.
But you think about it.
But I be
You
thinking
write
about
down
it.
on paper.
I be thinking about it. Like, do something petty, like take a pen off my coworker's desk and just use all the ink out of it and put it
That's
right back
called
on the
being
joint.
a psychopath.
Psychotic.
That's what that is.
Psychotic.
That is lunatic behavior. That is lunatic behavior, bro.
Golly. Yeah, Troy, that's psychotic.
Yeah, so there were a couple gems as far as like how to keep your moral integrity. I don't want to. It's four of them. I don't want to get into all four, just because of case of time.
But what if you just read the four and then we pick the ones that we want?
Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, actually, it was five. One is self mastery, the art of learning to self regulate. That's one way to address it. Self awareness, To thine own self be true. That actually might be the one for me. Self-expression. Choose and contribute to ethical, clear, and competent ways. Okay. 4, meaning making. Don't demand it, create it. That probably need to read more into that to see exactly what it is. And the 5th one is connectedness. Engage with others. So it's basically saying to brave the winter and go straight to where you need to do what you need to do, right? But the one that stuck out to me was self-awareness. To thine own self be true. Let me read a little bit. I don't want to read this whole joint to you. Being self-aware is an intentional embodied dance that requires continual exploring of feelings, thoughts, and desires, and doing so humbly, carefully, and courageously with what I call benevolent honesty. We also must. Okay, so now I gotta look up what is benevolent honesty.
Well, mail coming out.
What is
At
benevolent?
least I'm not by myself.
I don't.
Well, but you know the meaning of benevolence.
But how are they defining it? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
Okay, so benevolent honesty is a way to be gentle with others.
So essentially, sugarcoating what you need to say to the motherfucker. You don't want to hurt them.
And it's funny you say that. A way to be gentle with others as we absorb painful reality.
Right, exactly. So sugarcoating.
Sugarcoating.
Yeah.
Which I know I don't have that one.
Right,
I don't have that one. Some of the other ones you read, I was like, all right, that's me right there. But then you read that, I'm like, I don't got that.
Pretty much, that's what that means.
I got a black belt in sugarcoating. I got a black belt in sugarcoating. It's not even. It's a second nature thing for me.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Because you care about how what you're saying is, even if it is the truth, what you're saying is affecting that individual receiving it?
I feel sometimes I present as Bruce Banner.
Okay.
Internally, I feel like the Hulk. And so I am extra careful with my words because I don't know if Hulk trying to get out in one of these words. And notice this. The whole sentence, thank you for your patience for me. I've been, something like that. If you emphasize one word differently, you giving off attitude. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm really careful. I'm extremely careful with that part because I am afraid of the Hulk coming out and then my presentation of myself will be misconstrued with what actually I want to present. However, I will say this: when you are not true to yourself, like you can be business or present ways in a way and still get your true feeling out.
Yeah.
But oftentimes I go the other route. So what I'll do instead of giving you completely how I feel, I'll give you a microdose so that you can understand and perhaps give you the opportunity to ask me, oh, why do you feel this way? And then I can express some more.
So you're trying to crack the door.
So you need probing. Yeah, you
Right.
need some probing.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I just bust up in the mother.
Right.
I kicked the door wide open.
Wide open.
And I started the conversation. So I definitely don't have the sugarcoating thing down. Like I've obviously been trying to get better with how I present information and how I let it, ever since Lace convicted me about intent versus impact, whatever. I can't remember what number episode that was, but
whoa, bring it back for the new followers. Intent
versus impact.
Bring it back.
So
You intended
basically,
one thing, but the impact was another.
Exactly.
And how you shared.
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly what I'm referring to. Yes.
Yeah, so Lace convicted me about that because I wouldn't say rudely share it, but I wouldn't be overly concerned with how the information would come out of my mouth when I was presenting it, because I'd just be like, this is my truth. This is what I'm saying. Take it or leave it, love it, whatever. And Lace was basically saying that I need to work on connecting my impact with my intention. Like being clear about what I want to say, but also being mindful of not to kill the spirit of the other person I'm trying to talk to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still learning it, growing in it, or whatever. So I will agree, with that. But part of it, I think, a lot has to do with just self-awareness and knowing me and how I communicate. Because I don't like the probing, like what you talking about. I don't like circling the plane. I don't like people talking to me, circling the plane. I'd be like, you need to land this joint. Get to whatever it is that you need to talk to me about so that we can actually talk about it or whatever it is. But don't try to give me a piece of it hoping I'm going to ask for the rest, because I'll be feeling like you should just volunteer that to me. If you really want to get to whatever it is that we're talking about, I feel like you should just volunteer that to me, depending on the relationship. If we know each other well, you definitely should not be coming to me dropping a crumb, hoping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because then you could take that and, that person just may have a blind spot around whatever nugget you gave them, and then you feeling a certain way because, okay, they
ignored my crumb.
Exactly. So it creates a whole cycle, and we could have just had a candid but professional or engaging type dialogue. But the other piece that comes to mind is that people respond to that from an emotional space. Like, nothing chaps my ass more than somebody blaming their response on, I'm just an emotional person. I'm just an emotional person.
I hate that.
Bro,
if you don't get the out my face with allowing your emotion to justify your piss poor behavior, no, that ain't how that's gonna fly. That ain't how that's
okay.
Gonna fly.
Quick question for you: Can you say I'm like this because of my ethnicity?
No.
What would that have to do?
What does ethnicity have to do with anything?
Because some people will blame how they are based upon their ethnicity and
You mean culture?
culture.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
culture. Oh, my bad. But I like, hey, this my culture.
No, I know. I do think there's some cultural things, just like, what I mean, you've seen stories where Asian Pacific Islanders, how they don't look people in the eye. And a lot of times, that's a sign of disrespect. You know what I mean? So, particularly in some hierarchical things, I had a situation where, somebody in an interview, it was biased, but in an interview where they didn't look us in the eye. Well, from the cultural standpoint, that's not something that they do. So, taking into account those things, but some things are cultural, some things aren't.
If you're dealing with a female and she's really emotional and her reply is, and I'm only using female not to be sexist or anything like that, or I'm not using the word female as a derogatory word. It's amazing how PC we got to be nowadays to make sure we not.
What's funny is you said that. You said female, and as soon as you said that in my brain, I was like,
right.
I was like, I wish you would have said woman. Right?
Let me say woman.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
And you're dealing with, I'm only using that because we are all men. If it was a woman, whatever. And she says, well, I'm Latino. And so we known for being loud and all this type of stuff. Or she replies back, I'm a black woman.
Yeah.
Baby
girl, you shouldn't stare. You
shouldn't
put yourself in that kind of box when talking to me. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't put yourself in that kind of box.
How often?
That's how I'm gonna respond.
How often? So I guess my question is, how often can we use our cultural card for things?
If it's a toxic behavior, you should not be.
Yeah, just because it's cultural. Yeah, I'm like, just because it's cultural don't mean you need to be doing it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Nah. That's just like if I bought you, every time we went out to eat, let's go get some chicken. That could make you feel.
He's gonna say yes.
He might say yes. But what I'm saying is that's still cultural.
You ain't have to say it like that.
You gonna say yes?
You ain't have to tell them.
Right?
They don't have to.
But you always talking about chicken on this joint.
Yeah, true.
Okay, but you don't have to bring it up.
And real rap though, when we was talking about going to get some food earlier, he was like,
"Hey, where the closest Popeyes at?"
That nigga was like, "Hey, the chicken joint."
Where the closest Popeyes at? But yeah, no, I think that with that, people can't pick and choose because again, if it wasn't you who was having that conversation, or as the example, I'm at Latinx, whatever, if it was somebody of a different culture, they could feel a certain way about it.
Right.
So for me, it's the picking and the choosing.
Yeah.
I don't really get down with the picking and the choosing.
Yeah.
So we clear on that one?
Yeah, because I had a coworker once. She would use where I'm from. I'm from Boston, and this is just how we are. Mm-hmm. Well,
being from Boston, go get your what that mean? in Boston get their ass whooped too.
Hey,
What you mean?
but people from up north do that. People from
But
up
it's
north,
a certain gravitas that they try to carry. But at the end of the day, you get your ass too. I don't care where you from.
That's very
So
true.
you wear Tim's year round and eat goddamn eat my po' boys? That's what you do?
Yo, Troy, jump into the other one though, because I wanna see where they were going with the don't demand it, create it. I wanted to see where they were
Pull that up real quick. Don't demand it, create it.
going with that one.
Meaning making. Don't demand it, create it. Meaning making is the process of how we perceive, interpret, and make sense of life, of events in life, relationships, and ourselves. It gives us a way to organize memories and shape the narrative of an experience. Meaning also helps us to reconcile incongruities. Am I pronouncing that?
Talking about lace.
Yeah, incongruities.
Incongruities. Never seen that word. I mean, I've heard it, but never read it. In our values, beliefs, and expectations, and in our attitude toward life. This is especially important in times of moral adversity. Senseless suffering is a big theme in moral resilience. We often think to ourselves, why am I continuing to do this when nothing changes? Or am I doing everything I can do to make things better, but nothing I ever do is enough? And I'm fighting against a system that is inherently flawed or damaged. This
Sound it out.
umbrage,
Yeah,
these umbrages can either fuel a disempowering, dead-end narrative, or can become the foundation for principled and embodied action. The way to create meaning is to consider alternatives that may not appear obvious or that you have previously rejected. I know specifically with you.
And for the listeners, umbrages it means annoying.
It means okay.
Yeah, it means annoying.
I know specifically with this nigga right here. He would present an issue, and we be like, "Well, Mel, you do realize there's other ways to
absolutely."
address
And then he
this.
feel a certain way.
And he's like, "No, you can't do that because if you do that, you do it. No, I ain't. That ain't me." And this is when he pull out his card. That ain't who I am.
Right, that ain't who I am.
That ain't who I am.
It ain't who I am. Okay? And one of the things that was on that list was being true to self. Okay, true to self, self-awareness, and staying true to self. That's not who I am.
Right. But sometimes, as we talk about this concept, sometimes the outcome is the behavior change.
Yes.
So changing the behavior can become who you are because we're ever evolving, right?
Yes.
That's what we say. So sometimes behavior shift is the change that you need to make, and that is the outcome.
And let me read this one sentence. You have to consider how the situation is asking you to grow.
Stop eyeballing me. Stop eyeballing me, bro. Stop eyeballing me.
How are you being challenged to grow in this situation?
Growth.
How can you get growth, Mel?
Okay.
Okay, because it's kind of like this. All right. So my dribble package, I got like 3 different dribble packages. Behind the back, a crossover, between the legs.
Trash.
That's all I got.
Trash.
That's all I got, right? And so because it's trash, I can't break down many defenses with that package. I got to add to that package. Yes. And in order for me to add to that package, it's going to take extraneous training to break, first of all, what I already know, to incorporate something new, and to put it into practice. Yes. And so in situations, we're often challenged to grow, to add a different something else to our bag, to add a different dribble package to your bag of some
You
sort.
have to add something to your repertoire.
Yes. Melvin.
So yes. So give
you
us your
calling
thoughts.
me out.
Give us your thoughts, Mel, as you wrap us up.
Since
on
you
this.
calling
we have to
me
come
out,
back to this though.
Since you calling me out, the struggle for me or thought is, if I'm constantly, as you're saying, changing, growing, etc., at what point am I being me? If the concept of me is always changing,
right, absolutely.
at what point am I being me? At what point am I holding on to me? Because some of the stuff that is me that people make fun of or have quorum with is part of the reason why I'm able to do what I do.
Sure.
Okay.
It
yeah.
is the reason why I'm able to do what I do. So,
Yeah.
you know, at what point, I guess I'm trying to figure out, at what point do I stop holding on to some of the stuff that's me? At what point do I stop staying 10 toes down on certain stuff?
No, you
When
stay,
do I, you know what I'm saying?
you can remain
How-
10 toes down in something.
Yes.
But you can also shift your perspective of that thing. That is still, you're still you. You just shifted the aspect of your perspective on it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about aspects of, just things that we deal with on a regular basis as men. We've grown over time. You've experienced new things, so you've shifted your perspective. Most people, when they're traveling, maybe traveling abroad, they don't have a passport.
Right.
So, getting a passport is so hard, this, that, and the third. Once you got it, you're like, oh, nah, this won't that bad. Or once you go abroad and see how other people live, this, that, and the third, you see differently. So you shifted your perspective because you have grown individually. You still you've just grown in a certain aspect.
Yes. And you can still be you in another space. So in this space right here, you're you. But if we walk over to another room where there's more people, how can you bring yourself into this new room with this new atmosphere and still be true to yourself, but still adjust, grow in this new environment?
Yes.
Define grow. Can we put the definition on growth? I mean, I
I
in
actually,
what way?
I got a good one. Growth, from my definition, not Webster's, is gaining knowledge and being able to apply it to make that knowledge become wisdom. Right? And in that wisdom, we maintain who we are, right? We maintain who we are, yet we may not look the same. Case in point, I plant an acorn, right? Come back 100 years later, that acorn that I planted ain't there no more. It's a whole tree. Now hold on, you mean to tell me that just because it went from an acorn to a tree, it still wasn't the same? It was the same thing, bro.
It was still a nut.
It was still a nut. It was still a nut. It was still a nut. But there has been an alteration in order for it to survive in the atmosphere in which it was. At one point, it was a small, a small, humble thing that can easily be broken, but it had to learn how to break new ground. It had to know how to dig deeper. It had to know how to, grow higher. It had to learn how to create defensive mechanisms, leaves and stuff like that. And in the course of growing like that, you then provide shelter for other people. Birds can sit up in you. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to create some. I'm trying to.
I know you're trying to
you know what I'm
visualize.
saying?
We got
You're trying to visualize
I'm
it.
trying to and so, although you've changed, you still you.
Right. All right. You've just evolved.
Just evolved.
Let me tell you something. First of all, don't ever talk to me like that in front of company. I'm gonna say it like that. Don't ever talk to me like that in front of company. Okay? You save that for after the recording. If you want to break me down like that, you save it for after the recording. But okay, I get you. Because to me, I hear a lot of times when I think of growth, I just hear change. Right. The word growth to me, I always hear change in my mind, and I'm not someone who is privy to change. I hate change, like for the most part, depending on what it is. So then when someone's like, "You need to grow, you need to change," what if I just don't want to play a game? What if I don't want to play your game? What if I want to, you know what I'm saying?
But that's growth within itself because you're not putting yourself in that situation because I'm sure at some point in the past you would have gone along with that, right? True. So sometimes protecting your peace and not putting yourself in that situation is growth.
It is growth.
And you still you. I'm just not putting up with that. I'm not gonna put myself in a situation
where
I gotta deal with it.
Right.
That's growth.
And I think we can decide of what games we want to play. Right. Like games with my coworkers, I ain't gotta play this. I can up and leave. You know what I'm saying? But in games with, with people who are close to me, it's like, hold on, some change. All right, and I got to be able to adjust because if I desire the outcome, right, the good in their interaction with us, then I got to learn how to make it shake. The NBA has changed drastically over the years. This man, I'm gonna give him his flowers. This man, LeBron James, been in the league for 2,000 years already. Pretty much. He been in the league for 2,000 years. And from the time to where he was once in the league, it has completely changed to where it is now. He loves the game, and it has completely changed. And so he's had to adapt his style of play in order to remain dominant as he is in the league. And even though they're not doing it the way that he used to be, he's got, and if he wants to be dominant, he's got to. He can still take over the game.
And that's the piece that as we look at the coming to an end, that's the piece that we have to look at. Things evolve over time. Everything around us is evolving, so we have to evolve as well if we still want to be dominant in a certain setting. Using sports as an analogy, because the goal is to get buckets, win the game. Right. But you have to do some of the little things differently to get that. I.e., pick your spots. Right. You look at Bron's game now. He pick his spots differently.
He does.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so, he don't even play in all games. He's like, you know what? I used to play 82.
Management. Right.
Yes.
So maybe apply that to growth.
Apply that.
This is load management, baby. Okay. I can't do nothing with it. It's load management. It's load management.
Okay. Also, one thing as I'm learning as in his game. He's learned that he's got to put younger people around him.
You got to have different pieces.
He can't have Dwayne Wade on his team no more.
Right.
Remember they tried to get him back in with the Cavs?
Yes.
It just won't work
Trash.
out. Bunch of old heads. So he need a bunch of young heads because as he's getting older, he's like, hey, I got to depend upon y'all young bucks as much as y'all depending upon me. Correct. So maybe we need to adjust our team. Maybe shot selection. Absolutely. Shot selection. I know if the way I used to be able to do this, I can take the bump when I'm going for a drive. I'm not taking bumps no more because I get hurt by that. So let me
mad wild, but carry on.
So I'm not taking bumps no more.
I ain't taking bumps no more.
Because I get hurt.
Right.
So now I know I gotta pick and choose my shots.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I don't have to be in control. I gotta pass it off to my homeboys every once in a while in order to get some help. And that's what I've learned with me and my wife. Even us setting up this studio today. I like to be in control. I don't know if y'all realize I didn't tell any of y'all niggas to touch any cord. Yeah. Not at all.
Touch none of the cord, so don't worry about me.
And for the listeners,
I was not gonna help touch the cord.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
But when we needed to check the cameras, I need my teammates to help me. Hey, Mel, that camera's right beside you. Can you check that camera real quick? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's other ways in which I can get in order to help me manage that load, and I think it's a matter of applying knowledge. This is the Manly D's podcast.
The moral of the story:
load management.
You can grow and still be you at the core.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And load management.
Yes. Absolutely.
Pick and choose your battles.
Pick and choose your battles.
Pick and choose your battles, man. And as always, this has been the Manly D's podcast, y'all. And until next time, we out. We appreciate you.